All right, it says we are live.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We are live from Blackburn College. If you can hear us, please type Beavers in the chat. My name is Noelia Martinez. I am one of our admissions counselors here, but I also went to Blackburn and graduated in May of 2020. And I have with me Mikkel Cooper. Who are you, Mikkel?
I'm Mikkel Cooper. I will be the general manager for next academic year. And right now I'm the Jones RD.
There we go. Mikkel is an amazing student. She will be helping me out throughout the tour today. And we are very excited you are here with us today. So just to make sure that you can hear us, please type Beaver in the chat. We are currently standing in DCC. That's what we call it. It's officially called the DeMuzio Campus Center, but we like to shorten a lot of things here at Blackburn. DCC is, I would say, the main hub of campus, don't you think, Mikkel?
Yes, this is the hangout spot.
Yeah. It looks a little different, and everywhere around campus looks a little different because of COVID. We have made adjustments to our buildings to make sure that we can keep our campus community safe. So furniture has been moved around or even taken out of buildings to allow social distancing. But normally behind where we are right now is snack bar, and it would be filled with booths and tables and people chilling, eating food, lounging, doing homework, and it would normally be popping.
Yes, this is where we usually go after all classes.
Mackenzie, do we see any beavers in the chat?
We do have several here. We have 5 that have tuned in with us so far.
Yay! And by the way, Mackenzie is another admissions counselor. She's our behind the scenes manager today. We will go ahead and show you around our dining hall a little bit. Our dining hall is usually open 27 to 7, right?
Yes.
And it's buffet style.
It's buffet style, but right now with COVID, they're doing serving for you.
Yeah.
So you won't be serving yourself.
Yeah. And I will switch the camera so that you can see. But this is where you would normally check in. And you have a section where you can eat 2 entrees, our deli area, fried food and pizzas. And there's usually a vegan station here, which has been cleared out for today. Mikkel, you were telling me earlier about this station over here. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so this station right here, it just allows us to grow our own herbs. We wanted to start this last year, but we couldn't get it going, but now we do. So this is like our own personal greenhouse to have in dining.
Yeah. And our food company, our food vendor cooks everything, cooks 70% of their food from scratch. So it's super fresh. We have a dessert station over here. Mikkel, what's your favorite dessert?
It's definitely their brownies.
Brownies are the best. And then here, normally we have a salad bar area. It's been modified due to COVID. And behind us is the drink station. And now we will head out and show you the rest of the building. Our students are cheering you on. Once we head back out to the main area, there is usually a pool table where students can play. It's blocked off due to COVID, but then we also have our bookstore. Mikkel, what kind of things can we find in the bookstore?
So you can find your books for your class. You can find Blackburn apparel. Also, you can find snacks and drinks that aren't normally sold at the snack bar. And you also will pick up your mail, your packages, and the school will also put mail in the mailboxes for you.
Yeah. Since it is a Saturday, it is closed, but normally it is open during the week. As we keep going down this hallway, we have 2 important offices that are for student resources on campus. One of them right behind us is the student life office, and Mikkel actually used to work in there.
Yes, I was the student life office assistant. This is where you'll find where you can ask questions about Res Life. We usually have counseling services in here. We have our dean of students here. We have our CAB director here. This is where you'll basically find everything student life based. If you have any questions, you want to vent, you can come here at any time.
And right across from it, we have our work office, which is closed to date. But in the work office, you can find all the resources regarding your jobs. This is where you can find your student managers, the dean of work, but also the career services office, who will help you put together a resume and write a cover letter if you need it. And by the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. We are more than happy to answer any questions that you have. As we head out now from DCC, we will be able to show you from the outside one of our dorms, and it's actually the biggest residence hall on campus.
Yes, it is. It's actually the newest residence hall on campus as well. This is where we mostly put like freshmen. It's like a popular building for everybody to go in. It contains a kitchen, so of course they want to be there. And it's air conditioned, so that's a plus as well. I lived there my freshman year, and it was one of the better buildings. Yes.
The kitchen has a lot of appliances that you can use, and kitchen tools like pots, pans. They don't necessarily have plates and silverware for you to use, so you have to bring that on your own. But anything else that's in there you can use. We just ask that you clean up after yourself after you use it. And we'll go ahead and show you what that building looks like. It is split by wings, female, male, and the middle is a parlor, which is basically a lounging area. It has couches, a TV, and some study tables in it as well, right?
Yes.
And every residence hall on campus, if they don't have a kitchen, they will have a microwave or a couple of microwaves for students' use.
Yes.
What kind of stuff do we find in dorms?
So in dorms, you'll find the 2 beds if you're in a double, and then you have 2 bookshelves, and Jewel has 2 wardrobes, but other dorm halls have closets. So that's the difference between this building and all the other dorm halls. That's the only big difference. Oh, and you have desk. You have some desk in there. You can do a double single, which you have 2 sets of furniture for 1 person, or you can do a double with you and a roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also do a single, and with singles, you're just given 1 set of furniture.
Yes. And the furniture is all stackable, so you can adjust it to however it fits best for your needs, or however you want to make your dorm look like. So if you want to have a bunk bed or a lofted bed, you can do that. And if you can't move the furniture by your own, your RAs or RDs would help you out.
Yes.
And RAs, RDs are resident assistants and resident directors. And that's also a job in our work program, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You were both?
I was both. Yes, I was an RA in Jones before I became the RD. And with RAs, they're there all the time, 24 hours a day. You can reach them anytime, anywhere. And they live on the hall with you, so they're easily accessible for you as well. The RDs also live in the building, so they're easily accessible as well.
Cool. And in my experience, I found that they were always very friendly and always willing to help with whatever need you have. You can probably see behind us right now, that's our parking lot for Jewel Hall. Every residence hall has a parking lot, and parking is free across campus. As long as you are a student and have your parking sticker, you won't have to pay any parking fees. We are coming up to our soccer field, which has our solar fields in the back. So I will go ahead and show you that. And it's a little far away to walk all the way to our solar field. But we recently installed our solar panels. We are very excited about that and the contributions that it'll do for our environment. But in front of that is our soccer field. You can kind of see the stands over there. The practice fields are behind the soccer field, and our soccer field was also recently, I guess it's renovated. I don't know if planting new grass is considered renovation. But we planted new grass, and I'm not an expert on what type of grass it is, but it's supposed to be amazing grass for playing soccer on it. And over there in the back, we have our baseball field and our softball field. We are now heading towards VAC, which is our Visual Arts Center on campus. This is where you will find most of your art classes. Anything that is painting, drawing, art history, or anything graphic arts, graphic design related, this is where it is. The front of it has a sculpture courtyard, and all the sculptures that are in there, if I pause a little bit to let it focus, are sculptures that our students throughout the years have done here on campus, and they are being displayed there. I particularly like this building, maybe because I was an art major, so I am biased. But I also think it's kind of cool to walk in the halls of this building because you can see student artwork hanging on the walls. Did you ever take an art class?
No, I did not. I should have.
Did you take music instead?
Yeah.
Okay. Since we are a liberal arts school, at Blackburn, you have to take either a music or art credit to complete that requirement. This is our graphic design lab. It looks a little weird right now. Normally, there are 2 desktops per table, but because of COVID, they've done 1. But normally it only fits 16 students. So you get a lot of one-on-one time with your faculty, and it's all Mac computers. They all have the Adobe software that you need in order to create different graphic art and graphic visuals. And they're updated constantly as well so that you're using the latest software. Thanks for holding the door, Mikkel.
You're welcome.
And as we walk through, as we were saying earlier, you can see artwork in the halls. And this is also from students who have graduated or who are currently here. That's your favorite?
Yes.
Mackenzie, how do you feel about that one?
That one kind of creeps me out.
Yeah.
That's why it's my favorite.
This is one of the art rooms. This is specifically the drawing room, and it's mainly used for drawing, but you can see student and teacher examples on the walls. And more student artwork that was done in some painting classes or 3D design. And this leads us into our painting room. And students get to set up their own stations. If you want to spend even more time here, because our class sizes are so small, you can claim a corner or a wall of the rooms to make it your own personal station. That is partly what I did as an art major here at Blackburn. And as we move on, there is also a small lecture hall room, and all of our rooms tend to be really small because our class sizes are small. So you get to really have a lot of one-on-one conversations with your professors in the classroom, and they also have time to dive deep into the material, answer as many questions as you have, and answer things that may have not been necessarily designed or part of the curriculum that you just have interest in that complement the material that you are learning. Behind us is our small art gallery. Unfortunately, it has no artwork in it right now. Otherwise, we would love to take you in there. But that's where our students put on their own shows. So it looks amazing on an art CV, which is basically an artist's resume. But occasionally we'll have artists that are guests that'll come in and put on a show there as well and do a little talk about artwork for specifically our art students, but it's also open to all students on campus. This building is attached to Bothwell, and Bothwell is our conservative, blah, 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 blah. English isn't working for me today. Spanish is my first language, so occasionally the English button hasn't switched all the way. But Bothwell, as I was saying, is our Conservatory of Music. It's attached to our Visual Arts Center. And in this building, you can find the choir room, piano practice rooms, and we are an all Steinway school. So if you know what a Steinway piano is, you know they are amazing. We also have our auditorium in here. Thanks, Mikkel, for holding the door again. Our auditorium was remodeled about 4 to 5 years ago, and it was a donation from one of our alums. Because of their donation, we were able to put in place state-of-the-art technology in it. So the lights and sound system are basically the same quality as what you would find at Broadway. This is where all of our theater productions happen and our choir concerts as well. And it sits about 400 people, and it has a balcony up top. Our students in the work program get to design the lights and the sound for every production that we put on. And because we're such a small school, students that aren't necessarily majoring in theater can participate in any of our theater productions. So if it's something that you just want to do for fun, that is totally something you could do at Blackburn. All you need to do is audition. And if you still want to be involved in theater, but maybe not have a acting role, you can work in the theater, and that can be part of your work program job.
Yes, you can do costumes, you can do makeup, you can do just doing the scripts, doing the practices, and it'll count as your tuition job.
Yep. Our students run also the light and sound booth, so they learn how to use all that equipment. And I know a lot of our education majors who just enjoy theater as a hobby and decide to get an endorsement in theater so that they can run the theater club in their future school. They like to get some of those jobs because then they have some experience with handling lights and sounds in a auditorium. Oh, I'm out of breath. We are now heading into Mayhem, which is our science building, and it's particularly our lab wing. Like we were saying before, because we are a liberal arts school, you will have to take at least one course within biology or chemistry to fulfill those requirements. And this is where your labs will be located. They are normally locked because they contain different chemicals that students use during their learning experiences that can be dangerous if you don't know how to handle them. So we keep them locked, and our professors keep those keys. So our campus safety team could not open them for us.
Yeah, we also keep them locked because when people are completing their lab, they sometimes leave it out so that their steps won't get messed up and they don't have to start all over. And if we leave it unlocked, somebody could possibly come in and mess up their lab. So we like to keep everything locked.
Yeah, we don't want to mess up any students' work. This area is basically a lounging area,
Yes.
Wouldn't you say? Normally, there are more tables and chairs around the tables, and this is where students will gather and study.
Mhm.
As we move on in this building, oh, if I could only switch the camera. This is what we call the fishbowl. I think it's funny because it kind of looks like a fish tank, and behind there are all our faculty offices that are within the biology and natural sciences department. So we like to joke about how they can be fish and don't tap on the glass too hard, otherwise you'll disturb them. But it also has some stations for students to study in, or for the faculty assistants to work. That is also one of the jobs in the work program. We offer peer tutoring across campus. And all of our tutors are students, and they are hired specifically for that job, so they are qualified and they work closely with the faculty. We are heading to one of my favorite places on campus. I don't know if the mural gives it away or if you can hear the little chirping in the background. But we have a vivarium on campus. I like to call it our mini campus zoo.
Yeah, me too.
And it has snakes, turtles.
We have mice in there.
Different kinds of lizards.
Lizards. I think they had a bird at a time.
They do have birds.
Yes. I just like it because you can go in there anytime you want and kick it with the animals.
As long as one of the student workers are in there that
Yes.
take care of the animals, you can walk in there. And if they're able to, if they're not feeding any of them, you could hold some of them too, if that's your thing.
Yeah, it's my thing.
Our students use the vivarium to learn from in the classes as well. So it's not just to have a little zoo on campus. The purpose is really educational as well. We've also partnered with different schools around the area, and specifically for Science Day, which is a big day on campus, we will bring high schoolers and elementary school kids to learn about the animals, and our students in the different bio classes and that work in the vivarium will tell them all about the animals, their eating habits, because they feed them and they know how their systems work.
Yeah.
We are now heading into our largest lecture hall room. It seats, I would say, about 50 people.
Yes.
And your larger classes will normally be between 25 to 30 people. You'll occasionally get up to 40, but
Yeah, if
not
you're
really,
lucky.
if you're lucky. But typically our class sizes are between 16, 20 people.
Yes.
Yeah. I've had some classes with 3-5 people.
Especially this year. And it feels weird because you're so used to having more people in the class.
Yeah. Our computer lab is also housed in Olin. That's what this section of the building is called. And it has different computers for you to use and couches for you to study in and some tables as well for you to study. It has free printing, and there's free printing across campus. And you can print as much as you want. There is no limit on how much you print. And now we're heading outside, as you can probably tell. But over here on the left is another computer lab that is most specifically used for statistic classes on campus and for some computer science classes. This is the front entrance or the main entrance of Mayhan, our laboratory wing where we just were. And in front of it, we have a pollinator garden, which is made up of a lot of native plants to Illinois. And we have that because we have a bee program on campus. We have 16 beehives that our students take care of. We started that program because there was a beehive in one of our trees on campus that was way too close to one of our academic buildings. And instead of killing all the bees, we brought in a bee specialist to help us move the hive safely. And we were able to start our first hive by doing so. And since then, that bee expert has taught some of our faculty on campus and some of the student faculty assistants how to take care of the bees. This is actually our first academic year where we've had 2 students run the bee program, and they are actually certified beekeepers now.
Yes. Holes instead of like getting rid of them. Even like with the bees, we did the same thing with the bats. We had bats on campus, so now we're putting up bat houses so that they can have somewhere to go instead of just getting rid of them.
Yeah. That's also part of our efforts to be environmentally friendly. Here behind us is our lovely quad-ish area. We have a gazebo over there, and I think people are taking some prom photos. Our campus is known for getting prom photo shoots. But that gazebo was built by our campus club, Habitat for Humanity, on campus. Where are we now, Mikkel?
We are at Lumpkin, which is our
Student Success Center?
Student Success Center. I'm sorry, we changed the name this year, and it's a tongue twister. But this is where we'll find like all of our resources for like printing, for computers, extra computer labs, library books. Sometimes we get research from here. I know with public speaking, we're allowed to go into the archives and get like files from past years to use for research papers. And then also this is like where people come to study or hang out.
Yeah, it is also, the reason why we've changed the name, it's because it now houses our student counseling and other student support services. So any accommodations are located here. And when you come and talk to our student success director or the career coach that is here, they will keep all your information confidential and won't share it with anyone, but they are here to help you, and any of those resources are for free. It is closed today because it's a Saturday, but also because it's going through a 3-phase remodelation process. It started with the lobby area and the north end, which is behind us now, where the writer's block is. That's where your writing tutors are. But this area is right here behind Mikkel, is what we consider our reading room, and that's where all the library books normally are. But that is the 3rd phase of our remodelation process. So we're getting new carpets, new furniture, new shelves, and hopefully it should be done within the next semester or so. Attached to it is Rame. And Rame is our building for education majors. It has a basement, and because of how the landscape on campus is, half of it is not a basement because it dips down. But that's where we also have classrooms that are set up as a elementary school classroom. And we have a Promethean board and other elements that you would find in a typical elementary school and high schools, so that our education majors know how to use those resources by the time they graduate. Right next to it, a little bit down, we have Renner, which is our 2nd art building. And that one contains our ceramics and sculpting classes. Besides Rame having the education department, it also houses offices for the education department professors and our modern languages department. Right now, you can study Spanish at Blackburn. And as a student here, you have to pick a minor or do 2 years of Spanish. Students majoring in Spanish get to go abroad. And we have a few different abroad programs that you can attend. One is in Argentina, Chile, and in Spain right now. But there's also one for English speakers in South Wales, I believe. And we've had students attend. It's the same cost as it would be for you to attend a normal semester here at Blackburn. But you get to take all those classes in a different country, trying new food, meeting new people. It's an amazing experience overall.
I should have done that.
We just had a presentation from 2 of our Spanish majors about their experience abroad. One went to Argentina and one went to Chile. And it's amazing to see how fluent they are in Spanish now compared to how their Spanish skills were before they ever left the country. Where are we, Mikkel?
We are coming on Stoddard Hall, which is another dorm hall on our campus. This is actually one of the oldest buildings.
It's the oldest, actually.
Yeah. And it doesn't have any air conditioning solely because it's so historic. And if we try to add any new renovations to it, it'll bring our building down. And we like to keep the historic feeling to it.
And it's important because students in our work program actually helped build this building brick by brick.
Yes.
But the parlor of it, the lounge area, does have air conditioning. So there is a place where you can go and cool down. I lived in it for 3 years, and I can say by experience, it's not too bad. The first 3 weeks of the semester, it gets a little hot. But afterwards you're good, and it definitely has heating because you can't survive a winter in Illinois without heating. But the windows are also very tall and wide, so you can fit 2 box fans in them. And if you have one facing out and one facing in, you're good to go. They also all have ceiling fans.
Yeah. And personally, the students call it the nursing home building.
Oh, really?
Yes, because most of our upperclassmen live in that building, and they're so quiet in the building. So that's like our little nursing home, our personal nursing home.
I never heard that. That's so funny.
Yes, it's our little nursing home.
Then we have Jones. Mikkel knows a lot about Jones.
Yeah, so this is Jones, which I am the RD of. This is the all-female building. We have 3 floors. It contains faculty alley, which is like, it's like a suite style setup, and most of the time managers live in there. And then we have a cove, which is set up like the regular suite style, but with double rooms. And then the faculty alley is single rooms. We do not have a kitchen, but we do have like microwaves. We have the biggest parlor so far. And then we have the basic essentials, the laundry room, bathrooms, of course. We need those. We have a basement. But yeah, this is like the dorm that all the females go to. And like the athletic females, they just would rather be in the building with all of them.
Yeah. The parlor of it also has a lot of space in there, doesn't it?
Yes, we have enough space for a foosball table, piano. We have 3 vending machines, like 3 long tables. We still have couches and the love seats. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. And something I guess we didn't mention earlier, but every residence hall has at least a vending machine and a drink machine.
Yes.
So if you ever need late night snacks, you can grab them. Across this area, attached to Jones, is Woodson. And Woodson is our building that is specifically for the business department. So all accounting, economic classes, marketing, anything business related, you will find in Woodson. But occasionally you'll have other classes happen in Woodson as well.
Yes.
And on the far corner of campus is Butler. Butler is our 2nd oldest residence hall on campus. It was built in 1928, also by students in our work program. It's the other residence hall that does not have air conditioning in each room, but the parlor does. And both of the parlors of Stoddard and Butler were renovated within the past 3-4 years. So they actually look really nice and have new couches, new furniture, new carpeting. They're really nice to lounge around in.
Yeah. And I don't know if you all could tell the rock in front of Butler. We have that. The students will go over and paint the rock and like put something significant to them personally or society on the rock. And we'll leave it up for at least, I want to say 3 to 4 weeks. And then we just keep adding on to it. So the rock just gets bigger from the old paint.
Yeah. So it really depends on who gets to it next. It's when it gets a new facelift. Hopefully you can see it right there. But the legend says it was the size of a pebble and that it grew so much because of all the layers of paint. I don't know if all that is true.
Look, I've heard that from a lot of alumni too, so I think it's true.
Yeah, and you can definitely see all the layers of paint. Occasionally they'll chip off and it's this thick and it's just layers and layers and layers of colors.
Yes.
What's behind us?
Behind us is Hudson, which houses like all the other majors that don't have a specific building for themselves. Like I am a JA major, so most of my classes are in here. It also has the chapel at the top of it. And we have the advisors are in there as well, which our advisors are more than likely our professors.
Yep. And JA is Justice Administration,
Just
right?
administration.
Which is basically criminal justice. We just like to call it something different on campus.
It gives it a broader outlook.
Yeah. And I think it also sets you up to be able to have more open doors after you graduate, right?
Yes, because if you just leave it in the criminal part, there's only a certain amount of jobs that'll take you at that point.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you, Mikkel.
You're welcome.
This is the inside of Hudson. This is the only place where you can find a giant seal on campus. This is our college seal. And like Mikkel said, it has 3 floors. The 2nd floor houses the chapel, and you can find a mixture of classrooms and office suites for our different professors. So, for example, English and communications, history, computer science, sports management, are all housed in here. this is one of our classrooms. Like we said earlier, the furniture has been spread apart. Some of it has been taken out of the building to make it more friendly to social distancing. But that's what a typical classroom looks like. And on the walls of Hudson, you will find different bulletin boards with announcements, information about the different majors and minors and programs coming up.
Yes, and like our articles from the Burnian is as well.
Oh, what's the Burnian? The Burnian is our newspaper on campus. It's actually the oldest campus newspaper in Illinois, and we have won several awards for it.
Yes.
It's also run by our students, as most everything on campus. And down here, unfortunately, it's locked today, but it is our main computer science classroom, and it has about 20 plus desktop computers for you to use in class. And that is also where you can find your professor suite offices.
We also have the elevator for handicap accessible so that you all do not have to take the stairs, because there are a lot of stairs. And I know like a lot of athletes get injured. We have students that come in that need handicap accessible. So we want to make sure everybody has opportunity.
Yeah. How many classes have you had in Hudson, do you know?
Most of all my classes besides this year have been in Hudson.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think everybody has at least one class in Hudson, if not more. So all of your English classes, your writing classes that are required as a freshman student happen there too. As we head out, we are on, you can see in the background are what we call North Quad. And we call it the North Quad because it's next to North. We call it North. It's actually officially called Shallicombe Hall. And that is our all-male dorm on campus. So we have one all-female room, residence hall on campus, one all-male. The other 4 are co-ed and either split by wing or floor, male, female. This one in particular, North, is where a lot of our athletes like to stay because it's so close to the dining hall and to our gym and fitness center, which we are coming into now. This is Dawes Gymnasium. That's where our basketball court is, and it's attached to Woodward Center, where our fitness center is and the offices for all the different coaches on campus. Did you ever play a sport on campus, Mikkel?
No, don't put me out there like that, Noelia.
Don't worry, neither have I. The two of us aren't necessarily the athletic people on campus, but we have a lot of athletes on campus, and this building was renovated also within the last 4 years. This whole section actually used to be a pool back in the 60s, 70s. And we have turned it into our fitness center. It has practically brand new equipment that our athletes use in training, but it's also open to students from about 6, 7 in the morning to 10, 11 p.m. at night. Nothing on campus is necessarily open 24/7, but that is because it's our students staffing everything. So we want to make sure that our students get a good night's sleep before they have to go to class the next day.
Yes, and most of our physical education classes uses the fitness center for their classes as well. I know ballroom also goes in there, and just the basic physical education.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it like PE because I feel like we're too old for PE.
Fair. But you do have to take a physical education class on campus as well, something that'll keep you active and your body healthy. Thanks, Miguel.
You're welcome.
This is our gym. We call it the Beaver Dome. And this is where our men's basketball team just won the SLIAC championship this year.
Yep, this is where the magic happens.
Yep. It's normally popping with people during games. But due to COVID, we've done the necessary adjustments to keep everyone safe, but our basketball team was still able to bring us the championship, and we are very proud of them. Behind us, I'll just back up and try not to bump into anything, is our Hall of Fame. So any of our student athletes that gain any awards during the different conference games, this is where we recognize them. And further down the hallway, there are a few more offices, the locker rooms that connect into the fitness center, and the, what's it called? Athletic training room, where you can get patched up if needed.
We also have a room back there where they like play pickleball.
Yes.
Yes.
I always forget about that one. Maybe it's because I'm not athletically inclined and probably should do something about that. But that is our campus. It's not too huge, but not too small. You can get from one end to the other in about 5 minutes, even with short legs.
Yes.
So in case you're running late for class, you can still make it in time. And we are so happy you were able to join us today. We hope that we can see you in the fall, and that maybe now that you've seen a little bit about our campus, want to schedule a campus tour. And don't forget, if you have signed up for our exclusive presentation, hop onto your email. The Zoom link should be there, and we will see you there.
All right, thank you. Don't hesitate to contact either one of us. My email is mikkel.cooper@blackburn.edu, and I'm always available, and I'll be here all summer.
Yep, and you can find the counselor's information on our website as well. And Mackenzie, if you want to drop that link, go ahead. See you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Did you end it on Zoom too?